Today is 5th of July 2017. Market open neutral and move up throughout the day. Chart up 37 point, close at 3248. This is generally positive developments. It's able to bounce off from the significant support at 3200. Immediate resistance is at 3275. So these are the areas I'd like to watch. Since beginning of the year, market has actually gone up about 12%. It's a very strong run, and of course reasonable to expect you to actually trade sideways before the next upward move. So markets actually over the recent 2 months or so has been actually trading sideways, so tend to be very choppy, and most of the stocks are also listless. And nevertheless, there are still some stocks that actually move. Now obviously the tech stocks are actually badly hit because of the poor showing in Nasdaq. This is a chart of Nasdaq. If you notice, actually we have wide range reversal bar, and actually trading below the 13 and 26 SMA, so it's generally more negative as compared to S&P 500 or the Dow Jones. If you notice, Dow Jones is quite resilient. Now let's turn our attentions to the breakout today's. Today we actually has a couple of stocks, and very obvious ones is actually DBS. If you take a look at DBS, stock actually kept up and trade sideways, and today we have a very nice trust breakout. Notice the increase in volume, so you have taken the trades, put a stop loss one tick below the breakout bar low. Now if you actually compare that with OCBC was a stock that actually broke out much earlier, and in fact it was ahead of the other stocks. If you notice, actually it kept up, and usually we do not trade a gap, so we like to look for it to break above the high, but unfortunately did not actually pull back. And today you also trade by up bar with slightly increase in volume. Now let's turn back our attentions to the reports today. So if you notice, actually we have also a trigger here for the DBS put warrant, and of course there's a short, so it's quite obvious that actually the stock is actually moving up, so the put warrants actually going down. Now obviously we can't possibly make a short a put, but it's a good indication that actually underlying shares is strong. Again, importance to actually trade high volumes, so we'll ignore Metro perhaps. Now let's take a look at Silver Lake. Notice actually Silver Lakes, there was an earlier breakout and managed trade sideways, and even though it actually formed a line, it did not break off stop loss, which is one tick below this breakout bar low, and managed to move up today, and in fact testing this resistance here, which is quite evident from this congestion box. There is more obvious resistance ahead at about 62 cents, so it's an area I'd like to watch. Now REITs is something which we just have to be careful. Usually REITs on a short-term basis is more difficult to trade, and we will usually try to avoid that. Now if you take a look at the stock on the runs, we have fairly good stocks that actually traded recently. If you take a look at, for example, Galleon Venture. Remember, the market sentiment is actually quite weak, but this stock actually broke out yesterday, and today actually followed through with very high volume. The fact that we have very high volume, we need to be careful of pullback. Again, it's alright if you actually take partial profits. If not, just use the band and handle the stock accordingly. This is Jefferson. Stock also broke out yesterday, and today from a doji, likely to actually pull back again. You can actually take some profits and trail the balance. Now recent months markets has been actually listless, but we actually have stocks like Jaffa broke out much earlier. The first trigger was on 12 June, followed by a pullback. You notice during a pullback, it actually formed a line, so it's telling you the volatility has dropped, and also notice a very low volume, followed by another breakout here, and been trading above the lower band. And today, the volume is picked up, but you actually trade off high. So again, just manage the band to help you to actually get up this position. This is Charts Trust. This stock has an earlier triggers on the 20th of June. Unfortunately, it actually trade off its high and actually go back to the box. The next few days it trades sideways. You have taken the trades, your stop loss will be the low of the bar. And notice the stock trades sideways and followed by another trigger. And obviously the news appeared BlackRock is going to acquire the company at 117. This is Capital Retail. Again, there are very few REITs that are tradable. This is pretty obvious. Notice the healthy bar in the trend itself. We have a trigger here followed by a sideways move, and today managed to actually make a new high with high volume. So this is generally nice. So if you've taken the trade, just use the band to actually manage your trade accordingly. We also have a break in Singtel. Couple of days ago, notice they've been trading nicely, trading with daylight above the band. Let's turn our attentions to some of the stocks we'll be watching for a while. This is Best World, which has failed. Notice that we have a trigger yesterday, and today it actually have another low. The fact that you have a bottoming tails, it may trade sideways, so again we use the band to manage to trade accordingly. So it's pretty obvious that actually the selling has high volume, so there is some heavy selling on the stocks. Now mentioned that actually tech stocks was the one that actually suffered selling, and before that there was very strong rally. If you notice, the band actually helped you to manage to trade very nicely, and you managed to capture a very big profit. Notice the trigger here, and followed by a series of sideways bar which form a line, but it did not hit the stop loss and managed to actually trade upwards. And over here, you probably will get up because you actually enter the box again and trade below the line. Likewise, you can see UMS. Notice a very nice break, and you notice it trade below the band, so you actually capture a substantial move of the stocks. So the band actually help you to effectively lock in maximum profit. There's a Sunday down tag. Again, if you notice, actually very nice break here, quite aggressive in the sense that the daylight is quite big, so we know it's losing momentum, and you get out here. So here of course there's nothing much to do, so we just leave the stock alone. Tech stocks are likely to actually consolidate, and you take some time, very much like this. If you notice, we have a very nice move, and it consolidate for more than a month before you break out again. So right now it's actually tech stocks actually has weakened, so our focus should be somewhere else. The more obvious one right now is actually some of the REITs are performing, and some of the small cap stocks, and obviously DBS has broken out. We have weakness, OCBC break out much earlier. I would like to see how these two stocks perform going forwards. Now obviously if it breaks today highs for DBS, the conservative traders can actually enter a position. Alright, the conservative will trades when it clear the today high, but be mindful of this overhead resistance. Now you also can plot the VOPs to get ideas where the high volume, so you don't really have very significant high volume at this resistance, so it appears to be quite not a very significant overhead resistance, and stock may well punch through it. So nevertheless, I would like to actually trade what we see, and if of course you take out the high, we can actually enter positions. So again, be more selective. The fact that actually markets actually range bound. Alright, so this SCI plotted with the dynamic bands, notice actually range bound, so we just have to be more selective when the markets actually start in the congestion zone.